everybody, it's Miss Marie, and I'm out here with Hero. Today we're going to put some scarecrows in our garden because most of my flowers are dying. It's been pretty cold around here, so everything is starting to die down for the winter. And we're going to put out some scarecrows today, and we're going to read some stories about scarecrows. Let's see if Hero's afraid of the scarecrow. I don't know. Hero, what do you think? No. No, he's not scared of the scarecrow. So we're going to put some of these in the garden, and then we're going to go inside and we're going to hear some really fun stories about scarecrows, and I will see you soon. Alright everybody, I'm back inside from putting out my scarecrows, and I am ready to read our stories. But first, let's sing our Shaking Like a Leafy Tree song. You ready? Everybody shake high and low, shaking like a leafy tree. Everybody shake high and low, shaking like a leafy tree. Shake, 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 shake out your branches. Bend, 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 bend in the breeze. Shake, 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 shake all around you. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Ooh. Everybody shake high and low, shaking like a leafy tree. Everybody shake high and low, shaking like a leafy tree. Oh, good job everybody, all shaking out and ready for stories? Give me 1 minute and we'll start. All right, we're ready for our stories. Our first story today is about a chicken, and she has a little problem. She needs something, but in order to get that something, she has to trade for it with some other animals. So I think she comes up with a pretty good solution as to how to do that, and it's a good story about cooperating, but it's also got a scarecrow in it, so that's why I thought it was great for today. It's called the Scarecrow's Hat. Scarecrow's Hat. And look at those beautiful end papers. The wheat and the poppies growing in the fields, very pretty. Let's see. Scarecrow's Hat, and it's written and illustrated by Ken Brown, and it is published by Peachtree. Ready? That's a nice hat, said Chicken to Scarecrow. Yes, it is, replied Scarecrow, but I'd rather have a walking stick. I've been standing here for years now, and my arms are so tired. I'd love a walking stick to lean on. I'd swap my hat for a walking stick any day. Now, Chicken didn't have a walking stick, but she knew somebody who did. That's a nice walking stick, said Chicken to Badger. Yes, it is, replied Badger, but I'd rather have a piece of ribbon. It gets hot and stuffy underground, so I'd prop my door open with my stick, but I'm always tripping over it. If I had a ribbon, I could tie the door open and swap my walking stick for a ribbon any day. Now, Chicken didn't have a ribbon, but she knew someone who did. It's a good thing she pays attention. She knows somebody who has a ribbon. That's a nice ribbon, said Chicken to Crow. Yes, it is, said Crow, but I'd rather have some wool. My nest is in this high stone ledge, and it's very hard to sit on. I'd love some warm, soft wool to line it with. I'd swap this ribbon for some wool any day. Does Chicken have wool? No, but she does know somebody who does, I bet. Let's see. Oh, it's the sheep, of course. That's a nice wool coat, said Chicken to Sheep. Yes, it is, replied Sheep, but I'd rather have a pair of glasses. I have to keep a lookout for the wolf, and my eyes are not as good as they used to be. I really need a pair of glasses. I'd swap some of my wool for a pair of glasses any day. Does Chicken have glasses? No. Chicken didn't have any pair of glasses, but she knew someone who did. That's a nice pair of glasses, said Chicken to Owl. Yes, it is, said Owl, but my old one's broke, so I had to get a new pair. I'd rather have a blanket, though. The sun streams through my window and keeps me awake all day, which wouldn't matter if I had a good, thick blanket to sleep under. I'd swap my glasses for a blanket any day, right? Because owls sleep during the day. And look at all that light coming in. He needs a curtain for the window. Blanket would be good, right? Now, does Chicken have a blanket? No, but she knows someone who does. Let's see. Who has a blanket? That's a nice blanket, said Chicken to Donkey. Yes, it is, replied Donkey, but I'd rather have a few feathers. The flies drive me crazy, buzzing around my ears. My tail isn't quite long enough to flick them away, but if I had some long feathers tied to the end of it, I could swat them easily. I'd swap my blanket for a few long feathers any day. Now, who has feathers? Quick as a flash, Chicken pulled out 1, 2, 3 of her longest feathers and tied them to Donkey's tail. Chicken has feathers. Donkey was delighted, and true to his word, he swapped his blanket for the feathers. And look, now he's got that extra long tail, and he can swat those flies away that have been bothering him by his face. Pretty handy, right? So he's giving her the blanket. Chicken took the blanket to Owl, who swapped for his glasses, the old ones, of course. Oh, look now, Owl is covering up. Actually, looks like Owl's just going to cover himself up from the light coming in. Doesn't even have to put it over the window. So she took the glasses to Sheep, who swapped them for her wool. Remember, Sheep wanted some wool. Wanted some glasses so she could see the wolves. She took the wool to Crow, who swapped it for the ribbon. Now look at that nice nest Crow's got. And so she's got the ribbon. She took the ribbon to Badger, who swapped it for his walking stick. Oh, and now Badger's happy because you can tie the door open. That's pretty cool. Finally, she took the walking stick to Scarecrow. With a grateful sigh of relief, he leaned his tired old arms on the stick and gladly swapped it for his battered old hat. Chicken took the hat and filled it with fresh, sweet-smelling straw. What does Chicken need the hat for? Right now, it looks like she's wearing it, but I don't think that's what she needs it for. What she built? A nest. That's a nice nest, said Duck. Yes, it is, said Chicken, and I wouldn't swap it for anything. So I think everybody's pretty happy now. They all have what they need. So Duck's gonna have to find something else to trade for whatever Duck wants. But it's not gonna be that nest. And that is the end of that story. And I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a fun and clever story about swapping to get what you need. It's a good way to get that. So I like that. Okay, sorry if you hear the noise in the background. That's my little heater going because it's cold in here. It's very cold out today. All right, are you ready to hear a nice story on the board? Let me grab my storyboard from over here. And we're going to do a story on the board. Now, a lot of you have heard me tell this story before in story time. It's really one of my favorites. It's perfect for this time of year. It's called The Little Old Lady Who Wasn't Afraid of Anything. It does come from a book, but I've made it into a flannel board. The flannel board has some movements that go with it. You know, when I tell the story, it might be a little hard for me to do it, but I'm going to try to do it while I'm holding the board for you to see. And so I think you're going to like it. I don't know. Is it possible to be not afraid of anything? I mean, everybody's afraid of something, right? Some people are afraid of spiders. Some people are afraid of sharks. Some people are afraid of the dark. Everybody's afraid of something. Let's see if this little old lady is really not afraid. You ready? Here she is. Once upon a time, there was a little old lady who wasn't afraid of anything. And one bright winter, almost winter morning, she went out for a walk into the woods. It was windy, and she wanted to collect some herbs and mushrooms that she knew were safe to eat that grew in the woods near her house. Now, she went out there, she picked what she needed, but by the time she turned around to go home, it was starting to get pretty dark. Was she afraid? No, she wasn't afraid of anything. So she started walking home, and pretty soon in the path in front of her, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, were two big shoes. Now, that's kind of strange, right? You know what's even stranger? Those two shoes went clomp, clomp. Can you do that? Clomp, clomp. Very good. Was she afraid? Out of my way, you two big shoes, she said. She kept on walking, and she kept on walking. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the road, there was a pair of green pants. Now, that's kind of strange, right? You know what's even stranger? Those pale green empty pants, all they did all of a sudden was go wiggle, wiggle. Can you do that? Wiggle, wiggle. Was she afraid? No, what did she say? Out of my way, you pants. She kept on walking, but behind her, those pants were going wiggle, wiggle, and those shoes were going clomp, clomp. Pretty soon, in the path on the road, there was a shirt, which is a little strange, but what was even stranger is that shirt was all by itself going shake, shake. Can you shake, shake, shake? Was she scared? No, she said, out of my way, you shirt. And she kept on walking. But behind her, that shirt was going shake, shake. And those pants were going wiggle, wiggle. And those shoes were going clomp, clomp. Well, it was strange, but not that strange. But in the road, suddenly ahead of her as she walked along, there were a pair of gloves. And they were empty, which wasn't strange, but was strange. It was that they were going, what would you do if you were a pair of gloves? Clap, clap. Was she scared? No. What did she say? Out of my way, you gloves. And she kept on walking, but behind her, those gloves were going clap, clap, right? And that shirt was going shake, shake. And those pants were going wiggle, wiggle. And those shoes were going clomp, clomp. She wasn't scared. She started to walk a little bit faster. Probably be best to get home at this point, right? Well, all of a sudden, in the middle of the road, there was a hat. And that hat was going nod, nod. But was she scared? No. What did she say? Out of my way, you hat. And she kept on walking. But behind her, that hat was going nod, nod. And those gloves were going clap, clap. And that shirt was going shake, shake. And those pants were going wiggle, wiggle. And those shoes were going clomp, clomp. So she was almost home. Decided it was best to get inside. She walked as quickly as she could. But before she could reach her door, all of a sudden, there jumped out a big, scary pumpkin face that went boo, boo. She wasn't scared, but still. She said, out of my way, you big, scary pumpkin face. And she went inside and she slammed the door. But outside, she could hear that big, scary pumpkin face going boo, boo. And she could hear that hat going nod, nod. And she could hear those gloves going clap, clap. And she could hear the shirt going shake, shake. The pants were going wiggle, wiggle. And the shoes were going clomp, clomp. So she tried to sleep. It was a little hard for her to sleep that night. It was quite noisy and windy outside. And all night long, she could hear these things moving around. What were they doing? The pumpkin face was going boo, boo, and the hat was going nod, nod, and the gloves were going clap, clap, and the shirt was going shake, shake, and the pants were going wiggle, wiggle, and the shoes were going clomp, clomp. So in the morning, she opened the door and she said to them, what do you want? And the big scary pumpkin face said, well, what are we to do? We're here. What should we do? And then he went over and he whispered in her ear, whisper, whisper, whisper. And after he was done whispering, there were some changes out in the garden. And what do you think those changes were? What do you think the little old lady wasn't afraid of anything did with the hat and the pumpkin face and the gloves and the shirt and the pants and the shoes? She turned them into a scarecrow. And that scarecrow stood out in her garden and it kept the crows away. Because how does the scarecrow work? It moves around, right? So the pumpkin face went boo, boo, and the hat went nod, nod, and the gloves went clap, clap, and the shirt went shake, shake, and the pants went wiggle, wiggle, and the shoes went clomp, clomp to keep the crows away. And that is the end of the little lady who was not afraid of anything, and a story about a scarecrow. And how it all came together to keep the crows away. Now, The truth is, scarecrows don't really keep crows away too much. We see them this time of year as decorations, but mostly through the many thousands of years that people have used scarecrows, they've found out that crows are actually very smart. And they figure out that if the scarecrow doesn't move around too much, that it's not really a threat to them. So it doesn't keep the crows out of the fields anymore from eating your corn and your other food that you have out there. So farmers have had to come up with other ways to keep the crows away. But scarecrows are still there as a way to remember how it used to be. And they're kind of really neat, especially in the fall, I guess, when all of the fields would be empty, you'd see just the scarecrow. So that's why they became sort of a symbol for the fall. And my last story that I have for you today is called just simply The Scarecrow. And it is set in the beginning in the fall. And this book is by Beth Ferry, and the illustrations are by the Fan Brothers. And it is published by Harper. And there it is, the Scarecrow. And there's a crow. And there he is in the field, the Scarecrow. And it's pretty empty. Looks like a lot of the field, the wheat has been cut down, and it's fall. Autumn sunshine, haystacks rolled, Scarecrow guards the fields of gold. So there he is, and all the hay has been rolled out of the field. No one enters. No one dares. Scarecrow stands alone and scares the fox and deer, the mice and crows. It's all he does. It's all he knows. So in this book, the Scarecrow is still keeping the crows away. He never rests. He never bends. He never's had a single friend. For all the woodland creatures know not to mess with old Scarecrow. Winter whispers, velvet snow. Scarecrow has no place to go. He dreams of what the spring will bring, and of buds and blooms and things that sing. Aw, we all do that in the wintertime, right? We can't wait for the spring to come back. And there he is in the field all by himself. Then something drops from midair. A small, scared crow lying there. Broken nest? Broken wing? Scarecrow does the strangest thing. He snaps his pole, bends down low, saves the tiny baby crow. And you can see the Scarecrow is holding the baby crow in his hands. He tucks him in near his heart of hay. He lets him sleep, he lets him stay. He doesn't stop to wonder why. He sings the sweetest lullaby. He's singing a baby crow song. Baby crow, baby lullaby. Safe and warm the nestling mends. These two make the oddest friends, but friends they are right from the start. The crow will grow in Scarecrow's heart. He will peek out at the farm and will perch on Scarecrow's arm. And they will laugh and wish on stars, forgetting who they really are. And there's a nice summer night you can see because there's fireflies everywhere. It's a really beautiful picture. But what happens in the fall? We went from winter to spring to summer to fall, and then now, look. Oops. Did I skip a page? Oh. Forgetting who they are. For crows are birds, and birds must fly. The fledgling spreads his wings to try. He dips, then soars, and caws out loud. Scarecrow cheers, pleased and proud. But as he watches, Scarecrow knows that he must stay and Crow must go. Right? Especially in the wintertime. Summer sunshine. Autumn chill when now the leaves are falling. Oh, it's almost like Scarecrow's got a sad face on there. Snowflakes make it colder still. No one visits, no one cares. Scarecrow sags alone and stares. Remember, he broke his pole in order to bend over and pick up the little baby crow, and now he can't stand up straight anymore. Broken heart, broken pole, nothing fills the empty hole. Oh, little Scarecrow's sad, he's all by himself. Then something drops from midair. A large black crow standing there. Must be getting on to spring again, it looks like. Oh yeah, I see a ladybug and a spider web here too. The weather's getting a little warmer. And butterflies and bees. Scarecrow's arms are open wide. Crow spreads his wings and swoops inside. It's the baby crow all grown up. Oh, and look at the rainbow in the background. I love that. Joyful hearts brimming whole, a friend will mend a broken pole, and he will spruce up matted hay, and he will say, I'm here to stay. Oh, yay. He's coming and staying back. Right? Winter's over, springtime's due. Is there room enough for two? Has Crow found a mate? And they're going to stay there together now. Flowers blooming, fields of green, 5 small eggs are tucked unseen. Here, see? Scarecrow guards them, for he knows that soon they will be baby crows. Yay! And he will love them from the start, and they will grow up in his heart. Look at those little baby crows. See, he's not really a very scary Scarecrow. And they will peep and perch and play and make him happy every day. And as the seasons come and go, they will love their dear Scarecrow. Aww. And that's the end of that beautiful story. And look at this. It looks like nobody's afraid of Scarecrow anymore. The foxes are here, the deer come nearby, there's a squirrel and a chipmunk. Everybody seems to think now Scarecrow's not so scary after all. And that's the end of the story. Isn't that what I told you? Scarecrows don't really work, but they are kind of neat to look at. And yeah, so I love that story. Okay. So it's time for our goodbye song. If you have a craft kit and you want to stick around, we're going to make a Scarecrow craft at the end of this story time. So you can stick around for that. But in the meantime, let's sing our goodbye song. Are you ready? All right, here we go. See you later, alligator, in a wild crocodile. Give a hug, ladybug, blow a kiss, jellyfish. See ya soon, big baboon, out the door, dinosaur. Take care, polar bear, wave goodbye, butterfly. Goodbye, everybody. Okay, everybody, I am back here at my workbench, and I have the craft for today is a bunch of little pieces of paper to color, and then this little foam piece that has some cuts in there. I'm going to show you how we do that. I started coloring mine already using pencils. You can use pencils, crayons, markers, whatever you like, because I didn't want you to have to watch me color everything. So I'm going to just finish coloring here. I've got my porcupine, so I think I'm going to make him brown. Let's see. Let's do his face a lighter brown, and his nose, and his little feet, and his ear. And then I'll do a darker brown, maybe. Is this fine? Yeah, darker brown back here. And of course I have to color my Scarecrow too. Now the reason I really like this little project and why I bought it was because I like that it is three-dimensional, and I'll show you how that comes together in a little bit. I am so used to just ones where we glue or something else, and those can be fun too, and there's some techniques that we learn when we do those, but this one I really like because it pops up 3D. So that's why this one is one that I really thought would be fun. just coloring my Scarecrow yellow because he's made out of hay. Maybe I'll color his pole brown, right? Because that's wood usually that holds him up. Maybe I'll color his hat red. Oops, I see a little bit more yellow hay up here with his hair. And again, you color however you like. Let's color his jacket this color. Red. Well, it's about the same as the other color, red. That's okay. We can leave a collar if we want to, right? Very dandy looking Scarecrow. Okay, so there he is. Now this all comes together really, really nice. All you have to do is you take your cardboard pieces, you bend this a little bit till that opens up, and you pop it in there, like that. So I like having my Scarecrow in the back. And let's see, maybe I'll put a little friend there with him. And then we'll put the garden gate in the front. Like that. Oops. Oops. It's a little tricky that they all fall out, so maybe I have to come up with a better way to do that. Let's try that again. And I suppose you could glue them in if you wanted to. I'm just going to do it gently. And I think that if we open them up a little bit ahead of time here, let me see, then maybe they'll be open enough for us to slide the pieces in. Just hold it back a little bit. There we go. And now we have all these nice veggies and flowers to go in there. I've got onions, which I left white, and then they have just those green stems on there. Got some onions. They're kind of small, so I put them down in front. Got some corn, which is tall, so I'll put that back maybe in the middle here. Put some corn. And a sunflower can go back here somewhere, right? Some carrots, they're small, so we could put those down in front. Maybe right here. And also kind of perfect for this time of year, we got some pumpkins. I'm gonna put the pumpkins in there. Put them wherever you like. Oops. And if they mess up a little bit and fall out, it's okay. Once you've got them where you want them, they'll stay. You could always use a little bit of glue too if you want to do that. There you go. Got my garden all set up. And you can see it's 3 dimensions. So it stands up instead of being flat, which I really like. So enjoy this craft and enjoy your rest of your week. I will see you next week for some more special stories and a craft. Okay, bye-bye.